Hey guys, welcome back to another action figure review. We are continuing with the Mythic Legions, a new series from Four Horsemen Studios. Today we're taking a look at Vorgga in the new style of cardboard box with the plastic window showing off the figure. On the back of the box we have a checklist of all the figures in Series 1 with the picture and name of every figure. On the side we have a small photo of the character and the icons colored in white showing off the character's affiliation. Underneath we have the name in the alien language as well as a few short paragraphs on the lore of the character. With the other side having the lore of Hvalkatar Book 1 with a few paragraphs on the story so far. The new style of cardboard packaging allows us to easily take out the plastic tray without having to tear anything open. Although the accessory tray is taped pretty heavily to the side, requiring you to remove them. The lowest ring sections of prison cells in Hvalkatar are known as the Grave Ring. Vorgga finds herself in the 5th cell block, known for keeping some of the most hardened and disruptive inmates of the prison and home to the fighting pit known as the Grave. While it's currently unknown how Vorgga ended up with this fate, she was formerly an Edgehounder, a highly trained special ops division of police force. Vorgga's deadly training and attitude have earned her the reputation of being one of Hvalkatar's prison's most deadly inmate. Despite her attitude and tough appearance, she has a warm personality and a sense of honor that allows her to align with Hvalkatar, disrupting the operations of the prison Hvalkatar. Let's take a look at the details of the figure. Vorgga's head is sectioned off into different layers of skin, orange, red, and a few small blue highlights. The bright blue eyes lack any pupils, making the entire eye one color, with facial details like eyebrows pointed down and a neutral smile, making her look a bit angry. Wrapping around the neck, we have a large collar in a teal color, detailed with ridges, panels, and silver and copper details. We have a better look at the orange and red effect coloring the skin folds, and the large elf-like ear, long and pointed upward. More of that bright blue paint is used here, covering up the alien-shaped head with large blue bumps. On the back of the head we can see the hair details better, a brick red color hair wrapped in a ponytail with a brown hair tie holding it up. More of that neck collar rests on top of the silver chest armor. Large plates of armor layer over each other in 4 large sections, each plate detailed with small panel lining and 2 black straps near the shoulders securing the armor to the body. The backpack accessories come pre-installed onto the figure, covering up the back. Lots of small ports, silver rivets, and small canisters detail the ammo backpack. A large blue and gold circle detail the center with a bit of weathering effect that can be seen detailing the sculpting, revealing silver paint scratches. Underneath the ammo backpack, we can see the square peg at the center that is used to hold it, as well as the additional shoulder armor sockets used in Mythic Legions. The small teal plates of armor are detailed with more ports, panels, and a bit of fading green paint towards the shoulder. We will be covering up all the sockets here with accessories later on in the review. On the left shoulder, we have a small black tattoo of the Edgehounder police force on her bicep, with the skin color matching the orange on her face. On her other arm, we have no tattoo here, but we can see some of the muscle tone definition of the sculpting. A teal blue gauntlet covers up the arms, with a bit of green paint fading towards the bottom. Small details like a silver screw and a golden port detail the armor. The hands are completely covered in gloves, matching the color of the gauntlets, with large pads with ridges and the small metallic plates covering each finger segment. At the waist we have a few small black belts with silver notches wrapping around the body. On top of them we have a large metallic blue plate as the buckle, with a small plate of silver armor hanging underneath. Next to the buckle we have small metallic pouches attached to the belt. Moving over to the side we have more tan colored cloth pouches attached to the belt, secured by black and silver straps. Underneath we have a large plate of silver armor wrapping around the thigh. There is a bit of a copper color stain, looking like a burned-in effect from an energy projectile. The back has more silver plates covering up the backside, with a much larger tan cloth pouch hanging at the back. We have a bit more of that burned-in effect on one of the plates here as well. Removing the belt, we have a better look at the sculpting of the thighs underneath. Nothing too fancy with the paint here, just more of that detailed sculpting with the large black panels covering up the thighs with the blue ridged under armor design. Onto the legs we have more of that mechanical armor covering up the entire leg. Panels, ports, and large cosmetic joints detail up the armor, with more of that green paint fading in and out of the different parts of the armor. We wrap up the details with the boots. More cosmetic mechanical joints detail the boots, with only the ankle joint actually being functional. More small ports, panel lines, and that fading green effect covers up the boots. Let's check out the articulation on this figure. We have a ball joint at the neck allowing us to rotate and look around. And just like the 1.0 bodies, we do have a rotating neck. For the shoulders, we are using the older 1.0 arms as well, that can fully open and rotate without the armor getting in the way. Elbows that bend inward that can rotate at the joint. We also have a forearm rotation hidden by the sculpting. Wrists that rotate and bend left or right or up and down depending on the hand installed. We do have the standard ball jointed waist, but due to how tight the sculpting is, we mostly only get rotation here. The belt armor is made of a soft plastic able to bend out of the way of the thigh articulation. This lets us open the leg up to the maximum range as well as forward. But we have a little trouble bending it back due to the armor covering up the backside, but we can finesse it to the side. The thigh rotation is hidden by the sculpting. Knees that bend back and rotate. And ankles that bend up and down, rotate, and a foot that twists. Vorgga returns back to the Mythic Legions standard body, including the 1.0 biceps, and the body that's expected of a Mythic Legions character. Standing next to Thygr, we can see how all that extra armor padding accessories really makes him stand up much taller, even if using the same modular body type. Similar in size, the Spexian guard stands just a bit taller thanks to that massive neck armor and head size. Next to some standard sized Mythic Legions, we can get a better comparison of both bodies, similar in size and height, with the only difference being the head sculpting size. Next to Hasbro's 6-inch style figures, we can see how Cosmic Legions is on the larger side of the 6-inch scale, just a bit larger than your standard action figure size. Compared to McFarlane's 7-inch scale, since Vorgga doesn't have any of that large neck armor or a large head sculpt, she's just on the shorter side of the 7-inch scale. Starting off the accessories, we have an alternate head, similar in sculpt but with an added rebreather mask covering up the mouth. Just like all Mythic Legions, the head is really easy to pop off and swap in with the new head. Taking a look at the pre-installed ammo backpack, we can see the rectangle adapter to plug into the back, as well as the 2 ports on each side. We also have a slot at the bottom to equip an ammo belt later on in the review. To install the ammo backpack, it easily pegs into the square socket on the back. We have a pair of box-shaped shoulder armor, matching the paint of the armor with more of that fading green effect. Installing the shoulder armor is as easy as socketing it into the pegs onto the back. It is a bit of a tight fit, but has enough give to rotate up and down. We have an additional pair of hands in the same grabbing style as the default hands, with the joints bending up and down. The hands are also easy to swap, requiring a bit of pull to remove, but afterwards pegs in easily into the open socket. We have the Ultra Heavy Blaster in the gunmetal silver and red paint job, with the large port for the ammo belt on the side. Both pair of hands can easily grab onto the weapon. One interesting thing about the Heavy Blaster is the ability to remove the parts off of the gun, as it's modular and can be swapped with other parts if you have them. We have a very large black ammo belt made of a soft plastic, allowing it to bend. You can install the ammo belt at the bottom of the backpack. To install into the Heavy Blaster, make sure you match the notched corner of the belt to properly fit into the gun. We have a pair of 4 weapon holsters used to attach gear onto the armor. They can easily peg into the wrist gauntlets and onto the sides of the backpack. Vorgga is the perfect example of how Mythic Legions bodies transfer over into the Cosmic Legion series. As this character isn't filled up with custom armor accessories like most of the neck and shoulder combos that other figures have like Thygr, Vorgga is more of a standard size fit that even uses the 1.0 style arms most warriors use in Mythic Legions. If you're already collected Mythic Legions, Vorgga is very similar, especially how the shoulder armor returns on this figure, a classic staple from before. Although, what makes Vorgga different from a Mythic Legion is that all that great detail is sculpted into the new parts, as well as the amazing head sculpt and the paint effects. With the ultra heavy blaster requiring both arms to hold, for me, the single jointed elbows are starting to show their age, especially with gun themed figures. As Vorgga is priced as a standard figure, she doesn't come with much weapons as some of the other figures so far, but with an alternate head and removable shoulder plates, she has a few options for posing, but without any other weapons, she's stuck in her heavy weapon pose. The additional head sculpt looks great as well, with the gas mask giving her more of a bulky, armored look. One interesting thing to note is that Vorgga is the first female to use the 1.0 style body, as well as giving her the bulky bare arms of the 1.0 warrior figures, producing a strong muscle body style that's really a clever use of parts. The heavy blaster being modular is a nice surprise as well, but unfortunately we don't have any additional parts to swap them with. Even if it was just a recolored barrel as if it was being fired, would have pushed this figure's value way up. Overall, Vorgga is a great figure. It's one of the more standard offerings of Cosmic Legions that uses a more standard selection of parts without making the figure bulky and covered up with armor. It's a great character design as well, as a female heavy weapons character is pretty rare in almost any toy series. She reminds me of Zarya from Overwatch. More amazing sculpting and painting, and a decent selection of accessories, my only issues with the figure are a few sloppy paint spots, and the lack of a smaller weapon or anything to attach to her armor parts. Vorgga might not be the most flashiest figure of Wave 1 of the Cosmic Legions, but holds her own with her unique colors, heavy weapons, and that huge ammo belt that really makes her unique looking when fully equipped. The large shock trooper design makes a great soldier figure, if only she had a faceless helmet version for army building. Filling out your Cosmic Legion squads should be really easy with the unique selection of figures like Vorgga. Alright guys, that's it for this review. Leave a comment letting me know how you like this figure, subscribe, or share this video with your friends to help out the channel.